Hello everyone, this is Momo, and welcome to another Nikke video. So, Red Hood has been out for a few days now, and people have been testing and commenting on her performance overall, or the lack thereof. I had refrained from making an early review on Red Hood because I wanted to test her myself just to see where her performance is at, and I didn't really want to jump to conclusions too early. But now I have mostly built her up. Skill wise, she is maxed out. Cube, I am giving her the charge speed cube. I am still working on this cube, but I'll try to get this one to level 7 eventually. But I will also talk about the different choices on the cubes you could choose. So one way is you could use the charge speed one, or you could actually go for the Bastion cube if you plan on giving Red Hood overload lines with ammo cap. Or you can also go with the Resilience cube if you prefer to have her go with a higher reload speed. I am currently using the charge speed cube just because, but the damage boost from this charge speed isn't huge. So I mean, it's up to you what you want to give her. Like, I could give her the resilience cube as well, but for now I am gonna use the charge speed one. In terms of the skill, I would put priority on these two first. Burst skill, obviously you want level 10 because her damage multiplier here scales from level. So you want to get that as high as possible in order to have Red Hood do as much damage as possible. This thing is already pretty low in general, so you know, like if it's lower than level 10, I feel like you're kind of missing out on the damage. This skill is really good as well because it gives you the 71% attack boost, so I would prioritize this one. However, for skill 1 and skill 2, I would get them to level 7 first, and then get the Wild Tooth to level 10, and then Glaring Eyes to level 10. Because this one's overall difference between level 7 and level 10 is kind of small, so in comparison to the attack percent boost, so yeah, so that I would do the 777 first, and then max out these two first, and then max out the Glaring Eyes. As for overload gear lines, personally I prefer charge speed. You could go for charge damage as well, and I guess attack line. But from my tests now, I am actually sort of leaning towards getting ammo cap as well. So I think for Red Hood, the lines you get should be like a mix between charge speed, charge damage. I would still say 4 lines of charge speed, maybe 2 lines of charge damage, and then 2 lines of ammo cap, and hopefully you get 4 lines of the attack percent. So yeah, I think that would be the most balanced in terms of Red Hood, because her like off burst attacks are actually really quick due to her charge speed boost, so it could take advantage of the ammo cap. And overall I feel like the more shots she gets, the better her overall damage would be, because she would reload a lot less. And I don't know if 40%, well, I think it might be worth the 40% charge damage reduction from the lines that you are missing. However, it's up to you. I mean, like, I think ammo cap and the charge damage, you know, you could find a balance yourself. But I mean, overall, even without the ammo cap, I feel like she's okay as she is right now. Although I would still prefer, you know, maybe having a little bit more bullets than 6 shots. So now that we got this out of the way, I will show you guys my Red Hood's performance overall, and you know, try to let's say dispel some of the current I guess misinformation in a way around Red Hood. So in terms of the team that best works with her, I think is actually the Naga and Tia team. And then you can include Alice here because Alice actually boosts Red Hood, which is kind of funny, but Alice is skill 1. It gives 11.67 more percent charge speed, which is actually pretty huge for Red Hood because she gets 2.4 times the charge speed bonus after 100%. So this thing would effectively be almost 30% charge damage just by itself during burst mode. So anyways, I'm gonna quickly go through a minute and a half shooting range battle, and I'll show you how much damage Red Hood does in comparison to Alice. Like overall, I feel like yes, Red Hood is kind of similar to Alice, but they are also different in that Red Hood has more utility than Alice does. She has the variable burst, which like her burst one is really good at 70 something percent attack boost for the whole party. I mean, on full auto, which I usually play in, it's not very usable. However, if you do manual, it's fine, right? Like you can totally do manual with this, and it'll work just fine. So I mean, like, it's just because on auto she's not optimal for the variable burst. I don't think it matters too much. And you can see how fast she is shooting with the charge speed boost compared to Alice. Alice hits a lot slower in these situations. And once you get her skill level and her attack up, and as well as having appropriate lines, her charge damage is actually not that bad. Like I mean, obviously it's still lower than Alice, but I mean, we gotta keep in mind that first of all, Alice has a slower charge speed, and she has a higher charge damage multiplier. So overall, like, what Red Hood lacks, she kind of makes up with speed. Okay, so we're done with this battle. And as you can see, my Red Hood, currently she's still a bit behind Alice. Quite a bit behind Alice, about like 10,000 attack difference. But, the damage is catching up. It's not entirely, behind Alice by now. And they're both on full auto. I haven't touched anything. I didn't do like a quick, I didn't do quick charge, or I didn't do like animation cancel with Red Hood or Alice. Obviously with Alice, if you animation cancel and do the quick charge thing, she'll do a bit more damage. But in a fair setting of just doing auto, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys don't really want to manually click it, because it's actually pretty hard to do, and sometimes you might actually miss the core. So, in any case, in a full auto setting, she's not that far behind Alice, right? So, I mean, a lot of people earlier on that was saying that, oh, Red Hood's much weaker than Alice, or she doesn't do that much damage. It's not really true. Once you get her overload stats up and her, overall stats and skills up, her damage is really good. She's still very decent. I mean, obviously she's no Modernia or anything like that, but compared to Alice, she would be pretty good. And in some situations, I would say she might even be a little better than Alice, because her burst mode, her sniper shots are actually wider, which is it has a higher chance of hitting multiple parts during the pierce, which I think is actually very useful. On top of that, if you play on manual, at least manual burst mode, you can actually take advantage of her burst 1 and burst step 1 and step 2 skills, right? So overall I think Red Hood is still very good, and I don't really feel like she is mid, as a lot of people are making her out to be. Like, her only problem right now, I would say, is her burst 3's multiplier, which is this thing, this 27.8%. Like, in the JP stream, I actually went back to the JP stream and looked at it. She Red Hood actually does 16 shots during that full burst mode, and now Red Wolf, like the Red Wolf burst skill, like Red Hood would hit 32 times. So that means she has a 2 times speed, right? So I mean, like, giving this the original JP like streams multiplier wouldn't make sense, because you know that would effectively double her damage on something that's already looking pretty insane. So I do understand the idea to lower this multiplier in general. However, I feel like they might have lowered it a little too much. I would like to see something closer to maybe just half of the regular ratio on the attack. So like on the charge damage, maybe like from 69.04 to like maybe something like a 35 or like 34.57 if they really want to be exact. And I feel like with this, she would easily be able to match Alice, if not become a little bit better. But even as it is now, I feel like once all the overload gears come up and you get the correct lines on her, and I mean obviously with the attack going up a little bit more, I feel like Red Hood will do just fine. Yeah, she's kind of similar to Alice, but you gotta still understand that she brings a lot more kits to the table. You can see that my Alice is 68,000 compared to her like 57,000 or something like that. So I mean that's like a 10,000 attack difference already from just that. And I mean their damage was already pretty close. And my Alice, like, she has, you know, like a ton of, like, you know, I worked on her lines a lot more than Red Hood. So, you know, I mean, like, in comparison, like, my Alice is way more built than the Red Hood. And, you know, she still performed great. I mean, if you don't believe me, we can try another one. I mean, I've tested this myself quite a few times already. So, you know, I'm pretty confident that, like, their performance is, like, it's close. Like, not always, like, almost the same, like, but she's at least within like 10% range of Alice's damage. So I really don't see an issue with her right now, right? Like, so I feel like some of the YouTubers out there are kind of fear mongering and going like trying to you know catch on the hype, calling her mid and stuff, but in reality she's still a pretty well designed unit. I don't think there's a problem with her in general. Like, yeah, I would like to see her burst scaling go up a little bit, but you know, that's more like a want than like a need, in, like, to be honest. So I mean, yeah, so just build her up, you know, you won't be missing out, right? Like, yeah, she's not as like strong as Modernia, but I mean Modernia is just really strong in general, and it's not like Alice could match Modernia in like a lot of situations either. So, you know, unless there's like a multiple pierce targets, yeah, Modernia would always be stronger. So yeah, you see how fast she's attacking? That's why I thought about like ammo cap maybe. But I mean, like, I feel like maybe not. I mean, like, if you do work on ammo cap for her, like maybe get her to 12 shots, I would probably change the cube to Bastion instead. Okay, see? 68 million versus 76 million. It's like, you know, it's like within the 10%-ish range difference. You know, so, I mean, I don't really see a problem with her, right? But with Red Hood, I believe Tia and Naga would be like the best duo for her because of the core shot damage boost. You could include Litter, but I mean, you know, like if you put Dorothy here, that's fine too, but you know, both of these damage would suffer a bit. I mean, I'm still waiting for like a you know, a party attack percent boost burst 1 that is actually 10 seconds and not 5 seconds. I feel like that's like one issue with Litter, but you know, overall she still does great, and like she's like a pretty good package as well. So but yeah, I mean, like overall, you know, I've shown you the performance on Red Hood, at least my Red Hood, and I believe that she's, you know, a great unit. Like I would definitely use her in like solo raids and like any future content that would require her. And I don't really think that, you know, Alice and Red Hood is that much different in terms of damage. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. You know, that's my quick review on Red Hood, and practical, you know, show you guys like her overall performance. Hopefully it'll dispel some of your fears on trying to pull her, because I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people saying she's mid or what this or that, but personally I feel like she's just fine, you know. So pull away, man. Like you won't regret that. So yeah, anyways, if you like this type of content, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye bye now. Bye bye.